So we are discussing 12th chapter, 10th verse and 10th Bhagavad Gita. You can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Abhyase api asamartho asi.
Abhyase api asamartho asi.
Matkarma paramo bhava.
Matkarma paramo bhava.
Madartham api karmani.
Madartham api karmani.
Kurvan siddhim avapsyasi.
Kurvan siddhim avapsyasi.
What word meaning? Abhyase,
Abhyase,
in practice.
in practice.
Api,
Api,
even if.
even if.
Asamartha,
Asamartha,
unable.
unable.
Asi,
Asi,
you are.
you are.
Matkarma,
Matkarma,
my work.
my work.
Paramaha,
Paramaha,
dedicated to.
dedicated to.
Bhava,
Bhava,
become.
become.
Madartham,
Madartham,
for my sake.
for my sake.
Api,
Api,
even.
even.
Karmani,
Karmani,
work.
work.
Kurvan,
Kurvan,
performing.
performing.
Siddhim,
Siddhim,
perfection.
perfection.
Avapsyasi,
Avapsyasi,
you will achieve.
you will achieve.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Nice verse. Okay, I'll just start. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Shirunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Okay, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport. One is not able even to practice the regulatory principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of spiritual master can still be drawn into this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. Now Krishna is giving options to all of us. Last 2 days we were reading 12.8, 12.9, this 12.10. This is a particular section, 12.8, 9, 10, 11. So this is here in this from 8th to 11th verse in 12th chapter. Krishna is offering some options to us. If you cannot do this, you can do this. In 12th, 8th, Krishna. In 12th, 8th.
Hello, I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is Gayatri. We are having the group of
So we are discussing 12th chapter. By the way, I'll just repeat for the sake of people in India. We are discussing 12th chapter and 10th verse. If you can open that verse, we are discussing that. 12:10 Bhagavad Gita. And I can repeat the translation for this verse. Prabhupada is writing, if you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. Okay, so Prabhupada says, one who is not able even to practice regulatory principles of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of spiritual master can still be drawn to this perfectional stage by working for the Supreme Lord. So I was just mentioning that in 12th chapter, 8th verse, Krishna says, fix your mind upon me. Matchit madgata prana. Oh, sorry, yeah. So what's 12th, 8th? 12th, 8th is Mai eva mana adatsva mai buddhim niveshaya. We discussed this already. Just fix your mind upon me, your intelligence in me. Thus you will live me in always without doubt. If you cannot do this, then Krishna gives option in 12th, 9th. Krishna says, if you cannot do this, then you fix your mind by following regulative principles of devotional service. Because it's difficult to fix our mind on God, no? 24 hours. It needs practice. It needs determination, enthusiasm, and dedication. But everybody doesn't have all these things. It takes time to develop. So no problem. If it takes time to develop, Krishna is all merciful. He is devising some plans so that we can come to Him. The point is, He is thinking about us. These verses shows that He is thinking about us. If you cannot do this, you please do this. If you cannot do this, do this. He wants us, although presently we don't want Him. So this shows that that Krishna is thinking more about us than we are thinking about Him. He cares for us. He wants us to be liberated from this bondage of birth, death, disease and old age. That's the purpose of human life. He wants us to understand we are not this body, we are soul. He wants us to give nectar and not be involved in poison of this material world. That's what He wants. It's a good desire. God's desire is, of course, always good. He's good, so whatever He wants, it's good. So He gives next option, follow regulated principles of devotional service. And if you follow regulated principles of devotional service, slowly your mind will become fixed on Krishna. So what is regulated principles of devotional service? The main regulation is to chant Hare Krishna. No? That's the main thing we are doing. That is rule, and regulation is 4 regulated principles. No meat eating, no sex, no gambling, no intoxication. So Prabhupada said in one of his lecture, if you can simply follow these 4 regulations and there's one rule of chanting Hare Krishna, your life will be perfect. But now the problem is it's even difficult to follow rules and regulations. It's not easy because there are so many temptations, so many doubts. And it is also not easy to chant continuously. You can't chant. It's difficult. Haridas Thakur, he used to chant how many? 190 rounds per day of Hare Krishna mantra. 3 lakh holy names he used to chant. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered us to chant 64 rounds in a day. But then Prabhupada came to America and he saw we can't even chant 1-2 rounds, My mind is so wild. In Kali Yuga, people's mind are so wild. Either your mind is thinking something good or something bad. But devotion is beyond good and bad. It is for God. So our mind is always thinking those things which are not connected with God. So, of course, bad things are bad, but good things are also bad. In the sense that bad things distract us from Krishna. No, either sex, wine, theft, killing, anger, greed, envy, lust. But even good things distract us from focus on God. So if you want to do charity is not bad, but the problem is in Kali Yuga, in this age, people do charity and they forget God. Is it? So it's almost like Karna. Karna was very charitable, no? Everybody of us know. But Krishna killed him. Krishna made Arjuna kill him. Why? Because Krishna told, see Arjun, it is a very good quality of charity, but devoid of God consciousness, it is not right. It doesn't help anybody. So we have to keep in mind, even good things are an obstacle in devotional life, not only bad things. And Prabhupada says in one of his lecture, that we have seen that bad people come quickly to devotion than good people. Many times. You see, many times, if there's some person who is just taking drugs, and just like Prabhupada came to America, all hippies came to Krishna consciousness, not the gentleman of America. They didn't care. Or if you go to people who are very sinful, who are just always drinking, always doing nonsense things, if a saint goes to them, they tend to respect them. No, okay, we don't do anything anyway, we are nonsense, let us hear to this saintly person. But people who are good, so-called good, when a saint goes, they say, okay, I'm happy, I don't need God. My life is going on, I don't disturb anybody. I'm okay, I'm a gentleman. I'm okay, I don't hurt anybody. Everything is going cool, no? I'm settled. So that's the problem with goodness. If bad binds you, good also binds you. If bad is an obstacle in devotional service, good is an obstacle in devotional service. So Krishna will say in this chapter afterwards that go beyond good and bad. So okay, fine. The point is, okay, fine. If you can't follow rules and regulations, because the mind is disturbed, is thinking about something good, something bad, then Krishna says, okay, do one thing, next option. In this verse, he is giving an option. If you cannot do this, then work for Supreme Lord. See? If you cannot follow rules and regulations, you say, come on, Baba, I can't chant 16 rounds. Okay, offer food to God. Okay, sometimes I can offer, but always I cannot do. Then what's the hope for me? No problem. Then you do work for Supreme Lord. Work for Him. So, work for Krishna means don't work to fulfill your bad desires. Don't work to fulfill your good desires. Don't work for yourself. Work for Krishna. That's the perfection. So, by doing that, what will happen? Prabhupada says, anyway, before that, Prabhupada says, if you do work for Krishna, then what is going to happen? We'll be thinking about Him. If we do work for our family members, we think about our family members, no? If you do work for Krishna, you think about Him. When you start thinking about Him, then and you do some service for Him, He'll give you mercy. By His mercy, then our mind will start becoming peaceful. When mind starts becoming peaceful, then following rules, regulations will be easy, no? Okay, you can't 16 rounds, no problem. Then what do? People come to Krishna Consciousness, what we say? Okay, fine, you can't chant, no problem. You can help in cooking. We tell like that, no? Okay, clean the floor. Or we are preaching, help in the program. So by that, slowly, he gets mercy of Krishna. And by that, mind becomes peaceful. And then he is able to chant. We always see like that, no? New people, it happens like that. And probably it happened to us also like that. Many of us. But the point here is to note, Krishna says, if you cannot follow rules and regulations, you work for me. He doesn't say, if you cannot follow rules and regulations, you sit in your house and do research. It's not like that. No. So, okay, fine. If you cannot do this, fine, first do research. And then we'll talk. No, Krishna says, forget it. If you try to do research, then nothing is going to happen. You have to start working for me. Then I will give you mercy. Research is your agenda. Working for me is my agenda. No? So whenever people come whenever new people come to Krishna, we should not encourage them to actually do research, read, understand. That's okay. We can encourage them to read Prabhupada books. That's very nice. Because Prabhupada books will inspire him to work for God. Is it? So we have to encourage him more to serve rather than to be a scholar initially. We should not encourage him to read many books. It's not a good idea because he must do something rather than sitting and reading all day and then he'll go messed up. No. So that is why we can encourage him to read Prabhupada books, because Prabhupada books are again and again. What Prabhupada books are saying? Work for God, no? Do some service. Don't sit alone. But if you encourage him to read other books, okay, you have come here. Now you read Bible, you read Quran, you read that book, you read this book, you read Buddhism, you read Krishna Conscious, and then you will understand what is truth. No way, he'll become more confused. You read Gita, Prabhupada books, and start serving. Then all your doubts will be like, you can handle those doubts. So the point is, Krishna is saying, why in the previous verse Krishna says follow rules and regulations of devotional service. Why we are unable to follow rules and regulations of devotional service? Because of probably doubts. One. Another is probably because of laziness. No? But laziness comes because of doubts only. No, we're doubtful whether should we do or not, whether this is right or not. No enthusiasm. But person is so enthusiastic about money because he's absolutely sure if you get money you can buy things. No, it's there in front of you. So it's all doubts. And the obvious solution to doubts is you get knowledge. You get knowledge and your doubts are over. Krishna says, no, don't go for knowledge. Because if you go for knowledge, you'll get super confused. There's many people offering many opinions and we don't have such intelligence and even time to get all the answers to all the questions. Okay, you need knowledge, but before knowledge, to assimilate that knowledge, you need your heart should be pure to assimilate that knowledge. Because if you get knowledge, if your mind is not mature and you give knowledge to somebody, you end up in contradictions, confusions. You become scholarly, but you will become. But you will never serve Krishna. You get more doubts than answers, more puzzles than knowledge. So Krishna offers a solution. Focus on serving me. And when you serve me, when you work for me, then I will give you mercy. By my mercy, then you will understand this knowledge. Otherwise, you can't understand knowledge. It's impossible. So there are 2 points Krishna is offering here. New people, encourage them to serve. Always engage them in service. Engage them in service which they can do. Don't engage them in service which they cannot do. That's many times it happens, no? He says, okay, Prabhu, you do this, and then he doesn't do. And then we say, come on, he's nonsense. He doesn't do service. Come on, first of all, you have to assess, whether he can do or not. Everybody doesn't have same capability, no? So that's how we have to engage them. And then slowly Krishna will help them. And we have seen people who serve Krishna, they advance more quickly rather than people who are simply scholarly, who are doing research. They don't advance much. People who serve Krishna, they automatically become scholarly. Krishna helps them to understand, to assimilate all this knowledge. This is not chemistry, biophysics. These are realizations, knowledge of soul, this is reality. But people who are simply reading and so many books, they get confused. They are nowhere. So this is important, isn't it? To work for Krishna. Now the question is how to work for him. Obvious question, no? Okay, I want to work for Krishna. What to work for him? But before that, one point is to keep in mind. And when you work for him, your heart becomes pure, you get mercy. And then you will be able to follow rules, regulations more nicely. Is it? Pure heart, peaceful heart. You understand knowledge and you understand why you are doing what you are doing. Then you can follow rules and regulations with enthusiasm, determination. But when you follow rules and regulations, don't stop working. Okay, now I am on the higher platform. I am following rules and regulations, so I don't need to work. Okay, when I joined Krishna Consciousness, I was helping in cooking, in preaching, but now I have advanced and now I can chant nicely, so I'll chant. No, that's not a point. Working for God will always be there. In nursery class, you learn ABCD. In higher class, do you forget ABCD? No, you use ABCD to make English, no? You don't forget it. So initial stages you work for Krishna. In higher stages, you use that work to please Krishna, along with rules and regulations. So initial stages, if you can't chant, work for him. Always work for him. Do some service for him. When you advance and you start chanting rounds, then you use that service to get enthusiasm to chant. And use your chanting to get enthusiasm to serve. Service to God can never stop. It is first class, second class, third class, 12th class, PhD, wherever you are, you can't stop service to God. It's impossible. Because you're a servant. No, you're a servant. So Krishna is training us. Okay, start with service. Now, Prabhupada is raising this point. How to do this work has already been explained in 5th verse of 11th chapter. So we are not going to 5th verse 11th chapter. Prabhupada is explaining here. How to do work? Okay, you can start working how? One should be sympathetic to propagation of Krishna consciousness. See, the most important work for Krishna you can do is be sympathetic to propagation of Krishna consciousness. That means preaching. Help those who are preaching. That's the best thing you can do. If you can't chant 16 rounds, chant 1 or 2 rounds. Start with that. And help those who are preaching. So that's why when new people come, engage them in preaching. But you can engage them in preaching if you are preaching. If you are not preaching, then how will you engage? No. Then they will not advance. So the point is, a person can think, okay, let's do some program. We do some program, no? Let's connect new people. Okay, new people come, give them class, and we expect them to elevate. They will not elevate. The point is, when we are doing some class, new people are coming, you have to find some avenues to preach and engage them in preaching. Otherwise, they are not going to elevate. That's why we see many programs, like Bhakti Vikasa programs, many. Bhakti Vikasa program is not bad, but in many Bhakti Vikasa program, people come, they discuss some book, chant, and they go back. And the person who is conducting Bhakti Vikasa program, okay, he is preaching, but others are not preaching. They simply, he is giving. They are passive receivers. After some time, they become bored, and they leave. No. Why? Because they are not engaged in preaching. So it's very important that if you are with new people, you have to create avenues for them to be engaged in preaching. So just like you are doing this college program, okay. So in this college program, then you are asking services. Devotees are coming, new people. They are either cooking, books arrangement. That's why they are elevating. Even if you can see, even if you are not giving them knowledge much, no. You yourself don't have much knowledge.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still they are advancing. Because Krishna is saying, engage them in work. So as an instrument, okay, you are doing your job. You are engaging them in service of Krishna, in preaching. Krishna is giving them mercy, giving them intelligence how to advance. So that's what our job is. We have to engage people in preaching. So for preaching, that is why it's important to do outside program. Outreach programs in public. It's important to go for Harinam. That's preaching. It's important to go for book distribution. And there's a lot of mercy if you are on the streets. You're sitting in a home, okay. But if you're on streets, doing Harinam, book distribution, preaching, I mean to say, who will go to streets, Nobody wants to go. It's a big thing, Why we are dancing in front of everybody? It's a joke also, people. It's like, so ultimately it comes to prestige issue, Who is going to give off all his prestige for somebody? And we are sacrificing all our prestige, everything. Who cares, We want Krishna. Why Krishna will not give us mercy, tell me? Krishna will be obliged to give us mercy. He will say, come on, he is doing for me. So that is the most selfless activity you can do, preaching. See, other activities, there can be selfishness. No? Just like, for example, if you ask him, okay, come, we'll sit, we'll make prasadam and eat. That small program. So if you don't start preaching, no book distribution, no Harinam, no preaching, so then you can say, okay, we can make. But in prasadam, problem is you can make prasadam, but there can be selfishness. I'll taste nice food stuffs. No? I'll make for Krishna, but I'll taste. There can be hidden selfishness there. Or in reading also there can be selfishness. Oh, I want to understand nice points. There is something intellectual satisfaction. So you feel that as if you are having power of knowledge, So there's selfishness there also. But in preaching there is no selfishness. Who the hell is going to dance in front of everybody in the street? You have to be absolute silly selfishness. You don't get anything. Rather you get jokes from people. Is it? What he is doing is nonsense, what's happening. That is why those activities are the best. That is why Prabhupada always told, go out, preach. Prabhupada is always telling in his books, no, preach. Because it helps us. It helps us to become selfless. Helps us to only think of Krishna. And that purifies us. So see the difference? There's a difference, no? But when we advance, when we advance by preaching, then when we cook, then that cooking will become purely selfless, because we have got mercy of Krishna, heart becomes pure, then we don't go for our own taste. Okay, we'll offer Krishna. So, but starting is preaching. Then everything can take up. So that's what Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna, make others people chant Hare Krishna. No. That is what we are doing here, no? So that's why Prabhupada's first line is, if you want to work for Krishna, first line is, one should be sympathetic to propagation of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so then Prabhupada is explaining. So what do you mean by sympathetic? There are many devotees who are engaged in propagation of Krishna consciousness, they require help. Is it like that? So even if you cannot directly practice regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga, if you cannot practice directly regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga means, if you cannot practice regulated principles 100%. Okay, you might be chanting, okay, you might say, I can chant 1-2 rounds, that's okay. I can offer little, but other things I cannot do. No problem. We have option for you. We are preaching, you help in that. Now how do you help? Householders can help by giving money. They have money. Of course, I mean to say, the most important duty of householders is to engage the money in Krishna's service. Because, you see, for people like us, full time, our heartbeat is connected to Krishna. But householders' heartbeat is connected to their banks. If bank balance goes down, they'll get a heart attack. So money is very important in household life, no? It is almost as equal to God. So Krishna says, okay, give that money to me. Some portion. And then wherever your money is, you'll get attached to that. So, as simple as that. So, because that's your blood, no? You have hard-earned money. So, as householder, most important duty is to, okay, engage your money, Krishna consciousness. Some percent, 50%, 10% of your salary. 10% is said by, it is said by scriptures 50%, Prabhupada says, but 50% is too much, no? You can't live in this age of mortgage, insurance. So 10%, okay, 10% of your salary, or fix some amount. Engage. Don't be miser. As householders, it's easy to become miser, no? Okay, we'll keep money and other things we'll do. No. Most important is money. Charity is dharma of householder. Charity is dharma for this age, dhanam. So full-time devotees, sannyasis, they give charity of knowledge. Householders give charity of money. That's how it goes on, no? So, just like I am preaching, traveling. So if householders, they support us, then we can travel and preach. No, we can help people. If nobody supports us, then how we can do? So there is one thing. You can work for Krishna, how? By engaging your money in preaching purposes. Preaching. Everything is about preaching. That's important. So probably all the students are there. Or maybe if some householders are there with you, you can pool some money. That's a good idea. I went to Omaha and there was devotee and some householders used to come. So I told him, okay, fine. You pool some money. You fix, okay, this much money everybody should give. How much he wants, minimum. But they have to be trained in giving. You have to train them. If you tell them give, then nobody is going to give with this much now. But train them. That is a dharma. So students, okay, so how much students can give? Okay, train them, okay. Core students, okay, tell them, okay, can you give $5 every month? $5 I think everybody can afford, no? Okay, $10. Give $10. We'll keep $10 every month. All of you, whom you think core devotees, pool that. That may be a small amount, but it will train them in life to give. Otherwise, entire life they'll be keep on taking, no? Take. Come to program, take prasad. Come to lecture, take knowledge. Come to devotees, take help. Come on, you have to learn how to give, no? So it's important. So even if their money does not help in preaching much, for students, still take something. It will help them to learn in life. And for householders, they should give. So this is one thing we can do. How to help in preaching? Of course, they can't give lectures in preaching. And they not even have knowledge. Okay, so one thing, money. Okay, what second thing you can do? Prabhupada is saying, so even if one cannot directly practice regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, he can try to help such work. Every endeavors require land. See, somebody can give land. If they have capital, money, organization, in your program unit organization, that's what students are doing. Somebody is doing book table, somebody is cooking, somebody is cleaning. So give them services. You know what I have learned from my example, there's a tendency to become Superman. We want to do everything, no? And why we want to do everything? It's not illogical, because we think that if they do, they might mess up things, no? It's not, so we think, okay, let me do this. Or even if I am not doing some services, let me just overlook what you are doing. Then he'll not elevate. You have to give them service and give them responsibility. This is your work. I am not going to interfere. If it messes up, you are responsible. I am not responsible. I can give you tips. Then because service demands responsibility, then he'll advance. So explain them what you have to do. Tell them, now you do this service and you create your own ideas to improve this service, no? Then the mind starts working for Krishna. That's what we want, no? We want to work, okay, so if you want to, okay, fine, there's a program. So today you set book table. Your job is book table. One devotee. Another devotee job is cooking. So then he'll ask, Prabhu, so what should I cook? You decide. Now it's your service. It's not my service. You decide, then tell me. But I'm not going to decide for you. You see, there's a difference. But some devotees, they think, okay, I will overlook everything. Okay, you have to cook. So what I have to cook, Prabhu? Okay, I have to cook this. Come on, then his mind is not working. Your mind is working.
Also, this is how you have to cook.
Yeah, this is how you have to cook. This is complete crazy. No, then he'll not advance. And he will not even get interest to do service. Because he'll think, well, it's not my thing. Everybody gets interest if he thinks it is his thing. It's not natural. Anywhere you see. Just like that's why employees do not get interest in business, The leader boss is getting interest. I have to do this. Employees is okay. It's completed. I'm going. Bye. It is not his business, no? So that's how Prabhupada is giving hints here. Yes. Inspire them to do service. Give them responsibility. Okay, fine. They'll mess up once, mess up twice. That's how everybody learns. Okay, don't give them very important services where messing up will actually big problem. Don't give them that. No problem. Like finance. Okay, that you can keep yourself. That you can't mess up. Book table, okay. Maybe once he'll mess up, second time he'll mess up, third time he'll become okay. So like this we have to understand. So organization and labor. See, nice. Prabhupada says all these four things you need for preaching. So whenever you preach, keep these four things in mind. Land means a place to do program. It's not land. Capital, money. Organization means people. Organization means manpower. Need manpower. And labor means responsibilities. What I was explaining. Give them responsibility. Let them think. So if you follow this formula, Prabhupada, preaching will be successful. I think if you follow this formula in anything, in your business also, you will be successful. Just four things you have to do, no? It's the same thing. Prabhupada was a businessman, so he knows. And in fact, his god brothers, Gaudiya Math, they used to criticize Prabhupada, that Prabhupada could preach all over the world because he was a businessman. He knows how to know things. But that was an advantage for Prabhupada, no? His god brothers were not businessmen. They couldn't really think how to propagate this movement. And Prabhupada always used to say, people are doing business for money. We are doing business for Krishna. This is Krishna business. People want profit in their business, we want profit for Krishna. So, Prabhupada says, what's the harm in that? Okay, just as in business, one requires a place to say, Prabhupada is giving an example. One requires a place to say, some capital to use, some labor, some organization to expand. So the same is required in service of Krishna. Same thing. The only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed for satisfaction of Krishna, that is spiritual activity. We were talking about leadership qualities. So that's what true leader and false leader. False leader using all leadership qualities for himself. We are using all leadership qualities for Krishna. That's the only difference. That is spiritual activity. If one has sufficient money, he can help in building an office, temple for propagating Krishna consciousness. Or he can help with publications. Just like with money, you can buy books. If you keep on pooling some money, then you have money and you can buy Gita every time, books, and then distribute it. So everybody gets benefited. There are various fields of activity. One should be interested in such activities. And you can not only help by money. So Prabhupada is saying you can help in organization, in labor, in capital, whatever you help. But the important point is you have to inspire people to help, to work for God. Nobody is interested to work for God, no? That's why we are in material world. So you have to inspire them and also help them to what work they can do. So just like we do counseling, no? People do that. People do job counseling, no? Okay, what you can do? Just you are also doing the same thing. Yeah. So similarly here, when new people come, don't just tell them serve, help. You have to call him, ask, okay, what you can do. These are the options. Give them options. These are the how you will know what should I do. These are the options. We require help in this. What you can help, how much you can help, tell me. And let him do. Simple. So we have to help them to find their way. But we should not walk for them. That's not a good idea. We can just help them to find their way and let them walk. So difference in both of things, no? Mature them. That is why scripture says, father becomes happy when his son becomes greater than him. He becomes greater than him, no? So a true leader becomes happy when people under him go above him. A false leader always wants to keep people under him, no? Dominant. That's a bad thing. At least in spirituality, they should not happen. So, or he can help with publication. Okay. If one cannot sacrifice the results of his activities, the same person can still sacrifice some percentage to propagate Krishna consciousness. See? Some percentage can be given. Percentage of his energy, percentage of his money, percentage of his intelligence, whatever you want to give to Krishna. Krishna is open. Krishna is saying, whatever you give, I accept. Even if it is patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Even a small thing you are giving, I accept. But start giving to me. So, the idea is, sacrifice. You have to give something for him. And you have to train people. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one rise to higher state of love for God, whereupon one becomes perfect. So when people start voluntarily serving God, then slowly their mind will become peaceful by mercy of Krishna. Then with peaceful mind they can chant 16 rounds. So for the person, even one round is difficult, mind is running, no problem. Take help for Krishna. He will give you mercy and then things will be easy. But Prabhupada uses the word voluntary service. No. So that's very important. We have to see that people are serving voluntarily, not by force. Because in ISKCON, what happened was, ISKCON everywhere, like people go, okay, so you have to do some service, you have to contribute some money. And then he doesn't want, but you force him. And then he will give because we are saints, in India at least. But then he will not be so willing to give, enthusiastic. So we have to devise a plan so that people serve voluntarily, by their own will, by their own enthusiasm. And how you can do this? You can do this if you give them responsibility. if you don't poke your nose always. Okay, this is your service. This is not my service. You have to give them feeling this is yours. If they get that feeling this is mine, then they will do everything. Because everybody takes care of their own thing. No? That's all. That's a voluntary service. This is yours. You have to handle. It's up to you. Then he will have enthusiasm and do so. That is a good leader. Krishna conscious leader. He doesn't force service. He requests people to do service and creates services for them and then gives them. And then they develop. Some people will mess, no problem. Some people maybe in first go they will do perfectly, no. It can happen like that. You can't underestimate anybody. But that's how children are. They mess up things, no, in house. But we don't scold them. Okay, do this. No, and then they learn themselves. So that's a good leader, good father, good guide. And then people advance. Maybe someday people under you may advance more than you, know. It happens a lot of time. Like whom you preach, after 20 years you meet, he's a sannyasi. It happens like that. Come on, how this happened, you know. But that happens, that was Prabhupada. Prabhupada was like that. Prabhupada said to his disciples, no, preach. Prabhupada said, okay, open the temple there. And then Prabhupada didn't used to see everything. Prabhupada said, okay, apply your intelligence. Krishna will give you intelligence. Serve him. I have given some hints in my books. Do this, rest you see. And everybody became mature. Okay, this is temple I have to do, and this. Enthusiastic, they're trying, struggling. He's not spoon feeding. Prabhupada let everybody grow. And you see ISKCON. Outside ISKCON, nobody knows Prabhupada, no? There is no spiritual institution on this planet where people do not know its founder Acharya. All spiritual institutions are known by their founder. No? Like Ravi Shankar, okay, Ramakrishna, Aurobindo. But this movement is, nobody knows Prabhupada outside this movement. They only know Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada always kept himself behind. A leader is a person who keeps himself below, not in front. Behind the scene. Although he's behind, he's doing everything. Prabhupada was doing everything. He was managing, he was preaching, he was answering letters, he was also teaching them how to cook, he was teaching Matajis how to wear saris. He was teaching. So he was doing everything, but at the same time, he was helping them to grow themselves also. So you have to support. At the same time, you should know when not to support also. Both things we should know. So just like a child, you support, you catch him, he starts walking, and then you leave him for some time, no? And then he's trying, and then he falls down. Then you again pick him up, then leave. If you don't leave, then he'll never learn walking. So that's the point here. Krishna is saying, okay, work for me. So you should know, okay, how much I have to support, how much advice I should give, and when I should leave them. And let them do. That was Prabhupada. Prabhupada was expert. That's why he's Acharya, no? He knows how to help people. How to make them pure devotees of Krishna. Not that only I am pure devotee. That's not a good thing. So all these things come by time, by maturity, if we practice. Then everybody will be happy. If they serve Krishna by their voluntarily service, they'll be happy. If they do involuntarily, by force, then they'll not be happy. Then they'll leave after some time. Okay. Anyway, even if I don't go, things are going on. No. This will happen, no? Okay, I'll miss today. No, then there's a problem. So like that. Working for Krishna. Prabhupada said, do something for God. Work now, samadhi later. Prabhupada said. Samadhi can be later, ecstasy and all those things. Now work. You have a lot of energy, lot of intelligence. Apply that. Before you become old and then you can't do anything. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions?